Aquaculture Cage Mooring Worker. Okay, I gotta say, that's not a job title I hear every day.
It's definitely not your typical office job.
No kidding. But that's what makes these deep dives so fun, right?
Yeah.
Uncovering these hidden gems in the job market. You never know what you're going to find.
Exactly. And this one, let me tell you, it's way cooler than it sounds at first.
That's what you said last time. But okay, you've piqued my curiosity. Aquaculture Cage Mooring Worker. What's the elevator pitch? What do these folks actually do?
So imagine this. Massive underwater cages, some the size of football fields, out in the open ocean, packed with fish.
Okay, I'm picturing it. Sounds kind of intimidating, to be honest.
And someone's got to make sure those cages stay put, right?
Yeah.
Through storms, currents, everything the ocean throws at them. That's where aquaculture cage mooring workers come in.
Ah, so they're like the anchors of the operation, literally.
More than just anchors. We're talking high-tech mooring systems, carefully calculated tensions, constant monitoring. It's a lot more involved than you might think.
Okay, now you've got my attention. So it's not just tossing out a giant anchor and calling it a day.
Nope, these are skilled technicians. They're working with hydraulics, GPS, sonar, you name it.
Wow, this is sounding less fishing net and more high-tech engineering by the minute. You sent me these incredible guides from RoleCatcher.com about this, and I have to say, my mind was blown. It's like a whole career path I never even considered.
Right. RoleCatcher's amazing for that. They've got all these detailed breakdowns, skills, career paths. It's like a gold mine for anyone who's ever wondered, what else is out there?
Yeah. So let's dive into that. What kind of skills do you need to wrangle a massive underwater cage? I'm guessing strong swimmer is just the tip of the iceberg.
You got that right. Think about it. You're on a rocking platform, battling the elements, and you gotta adjust a mooring line using a hydraulic winch. It's physically demanding, for sure, but it also requires serious technical expertise.
Okay, so we're talking brawn and brains here. What else?
You gotta be a problem solver. Things can change quickly out on the open ocean, so quick thinking and adaptability are key.
I bet. It's not like you can just call AAA when something goes wrong with your underwater cage.
Exactly. You're responsible for the safety of the fish, the equipment, the whole operation. It's a demanding job, but it's also incredibly rewarding. And did I mention the underwater robots?
Hold on. Underwater robots. Okay, gotta tell me more about that.
Oh, yeah, these guys are on the cutting edge, using GPS to track cages, sonar to monitor what's going on beneath the surface, even underwater robots equipped with cameras to inspect the mooring lines and netting.
So we're not just talking about brute strength here. We're talking high-tech monitoring and analysis. I'm starting to understand why this is considered skilled labor.
Absolutely. It's a fascinating blend of brawn and brains, all in the name of, get this, sustainable seafood.
Okay, now that's a plot twist I didn't see coming. So we're not just talking about any old fish farm here. We're talking about a career path that's actually helping to feed the planet.
You got it. But before we dive into the whole sustainable seafood thing, let's unpack this career path a little further. Because RoleCatcher doesn't just tell you what the job is, they break down how to actually get there.
And that's where things get really interesting for me. Because, okay, you've sold me. This aquaculture cage mooring thing, it's high-tech, it's challenging, it's even got robots.
I told you it was cooler than it sounds.
You were right. But how does a person even get into this line of work? Do you need, like, a degree in underwater basket weaving?
Luckily, RoleCatcher breaks it all down, and it's not about diving in head first, pun intended.
Huh. I see what you did there. Okay, so what's step one?
Usually you'd start as a trainee, you're paired up with experienced workers, learning the ropes, literally.
So it's an apprenticeship kind of deal, hands-on learning.
Exactly. You're out on the water, assisting with net changes, helping maintain those mooring systems. It's the best way to learn, from the pros who've been there, done that.
I bet they've got some stories, too. But there's got to be a lot of responsibility, even as a trainee, right? I mean, we're talking about a whole lot of fish here.
You're not wrong. These operations are no joke. Even as a trainee, you're part of a team responsible for valuable equipment, the environment, the whole shebang. It's about paying attention, asking questions, making sure things run smoothly.
So from trainee, where do you go? What's the next step on the career ladder?
Once you've got some experience under your belt, you typically move up to a full-fledged aquaculture cage mooring worker.
Okay, so that's where you really get to put all that training into action.
Right. You're more independent, operating equipment, making decisions about cage positioning. You're basically an underwater engineer at that point.
And I'm guessing those problem-solving skills we talked about, they come in handy.
Big time. The ocean's always throwing curveballs. You gotta think on your feet, adapt to changing conditions, stay calm under pressure.
It's like that saying, the only constant is change. except in this case, the only constant is salt water and chaos.
Something like that. But that's what makes it exciting. You're always learning, always growing. And for those who really want to take it to the next level, you can become a senior aquaculture cage mooring worker.
Okay, now that's a title I'd put on a business card. Senior Aquaculture Cage Mooring Worker. Has a nice ring to it. What sets a senior worker apart, though? More robots.
Maybe more robots. But seriously, at that level, you're not just handling one cage. You might be overseeing multiple sites, managing teams of workers, even developing new mooring techniques.
So you're basically the CEO of cages.
Pretty much. You're responsible for safety, efficiency, the whole operation. It's a big job.
From trainee to senior worker, it's like a whole career path I never even knew existed. And here's the thing that really blows my mind. Even if someone listening isn't planning on ditching their desk job to become an aquaculture cage mooring superstar.
Although it's not a bad gig, if I do say so myself.
True. But even if someone's perfectly happy where they are, this whole deep dive has revealed some seriously transferable skills. Stuff that's valuable in any field, right?
100%. Think about it. Problem solving, adapting to change, working with complex systems, managing teams. These are things employers everywhere are looking for.
It's like a masterclass in essential workplace skills,
Yeah.
hidden within the world of underwater fish farming. But speaking of masterclasses, I'm dying to pick your brain about another kind of expertise that RoleCatcher offers. They're AI-powered tools. Because you know how we were talking about landing your dream job? Well, RoleCatcher doesn't just show you the path, it gives you a rocket booster. A rocket booster for your job search. I like the sound of that. Tell me more.
So it all comes down to this. RoleCatcher, they don't just have a database of jobs, right? They've got this whole AI system that analyzes career paths, skills, everything.
Okay, so it's like smarter than your average job board.
Way smarter. It's like
Yeah.
it understands the underlying skills that make you good at what you do, even if you haven't made all the connections yourself.
Give me an example. How would that work in the real world?
Let's say you've been working construction.
Right.
You operate heavy machinery, you troubleshoot problems on the fly, you're all about safety. RoleCatcher might look at that and be like, hey, this person's got the makings of a fantastic aquaculture cage mooring worker.
Even though, on paper, those two things sound totally different.
Exactly. It's about seeing the potential that maybe even you don't see. But, okay, enough theory. Let's talk about the actual tools.
Yes, please. Because I'm all about practicality. How does this actually help me get hired?
One word, resumes. Have you ever used their AI resume analysis?
I'll be honest, I'm always a little skeptical of those.
Hear me out on this one. You upload your resume, and their system, it doesn't just check for typos, it compares it to actual job descriptions in your field.
Okay, now that's interesting. Because my biggest pet peeve is when a resume tool is all about grammar, but it completely misses whether you're actually highlighting the right skills.
Right, like, it's great if you use the correct there, but are you even speaking the language of the jobs you want? That's what RoleCatcher is getting at.
I'm intrigued. So what kind of feedback does it give?
It's surprisingly specific. Like, it might say, hey, this job values teamwork, but your resume focuses mostly on your solo accomplishments. Let's showcase those collaboration skills.
It's like having a personal resume writer, but like this super smart robot one.
And it gets even better. They have this whole interview prep section that's powered by AI, too.
Oh, man, because who hasn't been there? Up at night Googling, tell me about your greatest weakness, trying to figure out the perfect answer.
It's the worst. But with RoleCatcher, you're not getting generic advice, right? Their AI analyzes those job descriptions, and it creates practice questions based on what employers in that specific field actually care about.
So it's tailored to the job you're actually going for, not just some vague, how do you deal with stress?
Exactly. And get this, they even have a video practice feature where you can record yourself answering questions.
Whoa, next level interview prep. But wait, does it, like, analyze your performance or something?
You bet it does. Body language, tone of voice, everything. It's like having a personal acting coach, but for job interviews.
Okay, I am sold. RoleCatcher, it's officially on my list of job search must-haves. But listen, we've gotten totally sidetracked talking about robots and resumes.
Happens to the best of us.
We got to bring it back to those aquaculture cage mooring workers. Because we've talked about the skills, the tech, the career path. What's the big picture here? What does the future hold for this industry?
One word, growth. As in massive growth. The global population's only going up, right? Which means more mouths to feed. And aquaculture, it's uniquely positioned to help meet that demand.
Ah, so it's not just a cool job, it's a cool job with job security.
Exactly. And I think there's something really powerful about that, knowing that you're part of something that's bigger than yourself.
Yeah, it's not just about the paycheck, it's about making a difference in the world. And in this case, it's about feeding the planet in a way that's sustainable and responsible.
Right. And at the heart of it all are these highly skilled workers, those aquaculture cage mooring experts, making sure those cages stay right where they belong.
It's a good reminder that even in the depths of the ocean, human ingenuity is finding ways to innovate and create a brighter future. And that's what these deep dives are all about, right? Uncovering those hidden stories, those unexpected career paths that remind us that there's a whole world of possibilities out there. So big thanks to RoleCatcher for providing the map for today's exploration. And to you, dear listener, we hope you've enjoyed the journey as much as we have. Until next time, keep exploring.